Sewing kits and paintbrushes at the ready, we are thrilled to be joined by Opal Ink Cosplay to talk about all things, well, cosplay. From the creation of outfits to attending conventions and judging competitions, Abby is here to share her experiences and answers your questions from the Access mailbag. She's also brought in some of her expertly crafted cosplay items to show us, and we reveal the plus side game for March. All of that on today's episode of the PlayStation Access podcast.
Hello and welcome to the PlayStation Access podcast, the official podcast of PlayStation UK. I am your host, Rob Pearson. We are joined today by Alex Young.
Hello.
By Ash Liguori.
Hello.
And by very special guest, Abby Legulsha.
Hey.
Did I pronounce that right?
You did
Excellent.
so good. So good.
AKA Opal Ink Cosplay, as you may be known by some of our audience. Abby, it's a real pleasure to have you on the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here and very odd to be here after watching the show for so long. It's like, it's real.
It is real. Unusually, you've come dressed as yourself today.
Yeah.
But we are going to be talking to you a lot about cosplay because it's something that you've been involved with for a while, and I've always been fascinated by it and sort of like the community around it. But first of all, I just want to sort of ask you about your experience of playing games as a kid. Like, what was your favorite game growing up? What was the video game that made you fall in love with video games?
Oh, I love this question because I love talking about the game. So I grew up watching my brother play his PS2. Used to sit and watch him play Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter.
Yeah. These are some great answers.
Exactly
the kind of answer we like on this podcast.
And that's where it all started, really, like Jack and Daxter. Like, that's one of my favourite PlayStation titles. It's one of my favourite just games in general. Just everything about it was, like, so charming to me. Like, even, like, the contrast of, like, Precursor Legacy into, like, Jack 2 and 3. Like, the contrast of that, the character designs, like, everything about it was just so charming. And that was the first sort of game I played where I was like, oh, this style is so, it's just so unique. And I guess that's, even to this day when I talk about like how I got into cosplay, like the Jack franchise is a big reason why I did. And it's really cool because I'm just still a huge Naughty Dog fan. That was probably my first game that I like became a proper fangirl of, became obsessed with, loved it.
And would you say then that Jack and Daxter is the game that inspired you to discover this love of cosplay? Was there a particular character or a particular game that you can remember where you just thought to yourself, I want to dress up as them?
I think so. I mean, specifically, like, the contrast of, like I said, like, Precursor Legacy, right, was very, like, happy-go-lucky, and then you go into Jack 2, and it's a complete tonal shift. That contrast of, like, Jack's character design, I remember, like, seeing him in, like, the Renegade outfit, and obviously you've got, like, Dark Jack, like, the really edgy, cool design, and being like, oh, that's cool.
Wow, yeah.
That's cool. I think when I reached an age where I started going on the internet more, and specifically websites like DeviantArt, obviously, where it's a lot of like fan art and cosplay popping up. I remember getting really heavily into like the Jack and Daxter fandom on there and seeing so much incredible art from fans. And then that kind of introduced me to what cosplay was, because I remember seeing, like, obviously back in the very early days where everything was very put together with whatever you have and like the huge scope of cosplay now, and being like, oh, you can actually do these characters in real life, you know? You can actually bring them to life.
So it was more Jack early on, not Daxter.
Yeah.
You didn't want
I
to be
have
a little...
cosplayed Daxter.
Have you?
Yeah,
cool. Is he a little Otzel, isn't he?
Otzel, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, little Daxter, he's
I miss
great.
him.
He's
I miss
great.
him.
I love that. That's great.
But yeah, I actually, like, one of my first cosplay friends that I met, we cosplayed Jack and Daxter together, and we met through that fandom.
Oh, cool.
That's really
So
fun.
we started chatting through that, and then the first time we met was to go to a convention dressed as Jack and Daxter.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
So were you Jack?
I was Daxter.
You were Daxter.
I was Daxter,
okay.
yeah.
Because one of the cosplays I've seen from yours that I think is just one of the most impressive visually is your Jack cosplay.
Thank you.
Like, it's so, I mean, there's cosplaying humans, right? And then there's cosplaying non-human
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways you can approach it. Like, so that was your first cosplay experience, cosplaying as Daxter.
Yeah, at a big
At a
convention.
convention, right.
Yeah, definitely. And it was really cool because meeting so many fans of it, it was like, oh, this is a cool feeling. I'd like to do more of this.
And would you say that's where your love of cosplay came from? Like, what was the feeling of going to a convention, I guess? And because they're such a unique place, right? Conventions where everyone is of a similar sort of mind, and you encounter other people wearing cosplay. Like, what's that whole sort of like community thing like for you?
I feel like that's such a like great and huge question, because there's so much crossover between every kind of like gaming fan specifically, which is why I always prefer to do gaming cosplays, because the community's great. But conventions are such like a great space for all of those to converge. You've got casual gamers, you've got trophy hunters, you've got virtual photographers, you've got cosplayers. And I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but like going to a convention in a cosplay of your favorite character, your favorite franchise, is like wearing your favorite t-shirt outright. Like a favorite t-shirt of a specific game you like. It opens up that conversation to people be like, oh, you really like this thing I also really like. Let's chat about it. And it's really exciting. And it's really cool when you meet, like, say, I keep talking about Jack because it's like probably one of like my favorites. But like when I wear that cosplay, obviously it's an older game now, but it's a franchise that is so beloved to people and so critical to their childhoods that when they see you in that, they're like, oh my gosh, is that Jackie Daxter? Yeah. And it's really cool because like I've worn multiple cosplays where I've had people come up to me and they've been like, wait, and they like pull their sleeves up and they've got tattoos of it and they like just want to show and like talk about their passion. These are like full grown, like really hairy, like big burly men, but they're so excited about it that it's just really cool to get to chat to people in that sense and that feeling of community. Obviously you've got photographers there taking photos of you that also really enjoy it. It's just this big collaborative space that's just really welcoming and great.
It's really interesting that you've mentioned cosplay as like a bridge to start conversations with people. You know, I imagine I speak for quite a lot of people, maybe in this room and in the audience, who would consider themselves introverted or don't necessarily find it easy to go and speak to strangers at conventions. But like if you've got, like you say, that thing where you're dressed as a specific character, it is almost like the first step in that conversation is already done.
Definitely.
And a nice icebreaker.
It is an icebreaker, and you feel like it, like you say, it opens a door to actually speaking about a thing that both of you love.
Yeah, and you know, I'm very lucky that I'm a like gaming content creator as well, but specifically the cosplay community has introduced me to so many incredible friends and opportunities and groups of people that I would have never otherwise met. And you know, it's the, like you just mentioned, like opening up that door of communication and being able to like chat to people in that way. There's big meetups, you know, there's meetups of specific fandoms, and it's just really cool to be in a space meeting people who love the same thing as you do, and obviously showing that love for it in a completely different way, like just playing dress up.
How do you approach, well, I guess a few questions. How do you decide then, like, a character that you want to try and cosplay first of all, and then once you've decided, okay, I'm gonna try and cosplay this character, how do you then go about building the costume? I guess because for people who don't know the kind of work you do, there are multiple different levels of cosplay, right? There's buying a costume, and then there's doing what you do, which is often making bespoke costumes, doing like really intricate makeup. You know, how does that process work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I talk to people that aren't involved in like convention and fandom and cosplay spaces, they don't quite get the scale of just how huge this community is. I'm very much someone that's been in the hobby for like 10 years now. And I like to say I'm a professional cosplayer.
I'd say so. I'd say so.
Have you got all the forms and documents?
Where's your license?
But it's such a huge thing now, and you've got so many levels and entry levels of it. So I'm very much a competitive cosplayer, so I've competed in competitions now like around the country. I actually represented the UK last year.
That's fun.
I didn't even know there were competitions.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've seen competitions at like conventions and stuff for cosplay, but I didn't realize it was like an international thing.
Yes,
that's amazing.
There are multiple big international competitions now where duos or groups or like solos from each country get together and basically compete. So I was lucky enough to do that last year, which was such a fun experience, really cool. Right? And, you know, in the same way, I'm also very lucky that I get invited to a lot of conventions to judge, so I actually get to be the other side of the table.
Okay. Simon Cowell
that
style.
sounds fun.
Yeah. It's fun, but it's hard work. It's so much hard work because when you come in as a cosplay judge for like bigger conventions like this, it's a full day of work. You know, you start prejudging people at like 10 a.m. You got to get through like 50 different people, 4 minutes each, looking at their costumes.
What's your judging style like?
Are you RuPaul?
Are you ruthless?
No, I would say I'm the friendly face.
The
I like to
friendly-
believe
the nice
that.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. The nice one.
But I absolutely, it's my favorite. I love competing because there's a lot of competitions where you have to like create skits and performances. So you have to show off your characters and actually kind of like act as them a little bit. But I love judging because I love getting to hear people talk about their work, like getting to be a hype person in that
Yeah, that's
room and be
nice.
like, tell me what your favorite thing about this is. Show me what you're most proud of. It's like such a special experience for people to trust you with that. And for people to like be, I love this hobby. So it's really cool talking to other people that also love this hobby in that way. It's great.
That is
So
really
good.
It's really nice.
And as for how do I choose characters to cosplay, that looks cool. I want to make that.
There's nothing deep about it. It's
that's
just
it.
like, it looks cool. I want to do it.
That's the baseline. And then it's, can I actually make that?
So, well, yeah, tell us. Sorry, Ash.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like with cosplaying, I suppose as you mentioned earlier, there's different levels of cosplaying, right? So people could come into it at an entry level. I suppose with cosplaying, did it start off? How light cosplay did it start? Like what was your entry of it? Was it makeup? Was it like buying the costumes, or did you go straight in to I'm gonna fully commit and make things myself and fully just turn myself into these characters, or was it more low key and casual to begin with?
So that goes into deeper Abbey lore, which
Okay.
is, so my wonderful mother.
Blue Peter Badge, Abbey Law.
Blue Peter Badge.
Guinness World Records, Abbey Law.
Yeah, wow.
We had a lot of interesting law conversations before this podcast. My wonderful mother, who is incredibly supportive of everything I do, she's a face painter.
Amazing.
And ever since I was young, I would go with her to the theatres because ever since I was young, we've worked backstage at amateur dramatic theatres. So I was always kind of, ever since I was at an age where like I was, I guess, impressionable, I was always surrounded by costume and wardrobe and makeup. And, my mum's always been super supportive in like, I would go with her to like school fates and I would go with her to like face painting events and like help her and learn through that. So I always really enjoyed the makeup side, which I guess I started out with a little bit more. I would like experiment with stuff. And then my very first few cosplays, kind of like before the big convention with like Daxter, I like bought some stuff and like cosplayed some like niche little fandoms that I really liked. And then the very first convention I went to was a small little convention actually in Bristol. And went on the Saturday and I was in just a little like a little bought cosplay and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Obviously I was like 13 or 14 at the time. Went home and that night I like made a cosplay.
Wow.
So literally
Clearly, you've got its hooks
yeah,
in you.
yeah, literally I made the most awful cosplay with like cardboard armor. It was so bad. But just that idea of like, I can go home and make this, like seeing
That's
people do
amazing.
it was really cool. So then I went and it was so bad, but I was so proud of it.
Yeah.
As you should be.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really nice.
So yeah, I very much got into like making things from the beginning. And every kind of cosplay is valid, whether you buy things, you
Oh,
check,
yeah, for sure.
I've handmade entire cosplays, but then I've also like put cosplays entirely together from charity shops.
Nice.
But for me, it's like I'm very much like an artistic person. I love getting my hands in and like trying new things like chainmail and leather work.
Yeah,
and
I
I
was
was
gonna
going to say,
say,
you must
and-
learn a lot of
Yeah.
skills through cosplay.
One of
Yeah.
our colleagues downstairs makes chainmail in her spare time.
Really?
Just to like embellish outfits
Wow.
like to wear every day, which is really
As
cool.
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why not?
I respect that because chainmail is not necessarily the easiest.
It
thing to
looks
make.
fiddly.
Yeah.
It looks really tough.
But it's so fun to challenge yourself to make
Yeah.
things and learn these skills. And obviously, the online space now is so welcoming, and there's so many tutorials and resources out there to learn from that it's just great fun. I can learn how to ventilate a wig. Why not? Why not,
Absolutely.
right?
don't even
What does
know
that
what that
mean?
means.
Ventilator
Ventilator
wig.
wig.
Yeah.
Does it mean like air it a little bit? Is that
So-
what you
Fluff
mean?
it up.
You've got two types of
I'm trying
wigs,
to-
right?
Right.
You've got a normal hard front and then a lace front, which
I
is
know the
what-
difference between those.
Yeah.
I
lost-
watched a lot
lost
of
me
RuPaul's
already.
Drag Race.
Lace front.
I don't know.
Watched any RuPaul's Drag Race?
I watched one season of the UK one.
Okay.
Like the one with bag of chips. in
Oh
it.
yeah, great season. Great season. Yeah.
The wigs with the lace on the front that looks like a real hairline. Ventilating a wig is where you individually go in with each strand of hair and tie it on into the lace.
That must,
it looks-
Blimey.
that must take ages.
yeah.
That does.
I can hear you just feeling some trauma here.
Yeah.
That takes ages.
I did my first lot of ventilating for I've cosplayed Atreus from God of War. And originally I just shaved my hair for it. And then I got to a point where like, I don't want to shave my hair for this anymore.
That's commitment.
I was
That is
gonna ask you
commitment.
about this.
Yeah.
We'll get onto
Like,
this.
because sometimes I see you go from, you get the Atreus thing on. It's like, wait, have you just cut
Where's
your
your
hair for
hair?
this? And then the next day you'll be back to normal hair.
How
did you do that?
Magic.
Wizardry.
I grew it back. But that was my first experience of ventilating where obviously he has a shaved mohawk, which isn't easy to get with a wig. So I handmade something called a helmet wig. I'm just educating you guys about wigs
This is
today.
so fun.
I'm learning
This is
so
great.
much.
You basically make something called like a helmet wig, which is basically like a solid piece. But I ventilated all of the sideburns so it looked shaved. So it just blended in like a bit more naturally.
Wow.
But those two sideburns took me like 30 to 40 hours of work to
Whoa.
make.
Just the
That's
sideburns?
Not even for the rest of the wig.
You
Blimey.
just grow them like nobody's
That's
business.
Yeah, it's easy. Sideburns are easy.
It's all right for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
So how do you suppress your actual hair when you've got like one of those headpieces on?
I squash it under a wig cap and hope for the best.
A wig cap. See, I'm
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
about all of the things
Yeah,
now.
that's
could've
very
bought a wig.
that's, like
Could've put
makes
you in a
it
wig
super
cap.
smooth.
Yeah.
That's I
Yeah.
feel like if I put my hair in a wig cap, it would just be lumpy and bumpy. And
I would never have to worry about a wig cap. Easy.
you'd be prime candidate for being like a drag queen because you don't have to pull your hair back or anything. You don't have to put.
I've
I
got a
remember
drag
this.
character.
Oh yeah, you have, haven't you?
Meryl Gear.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's it,
You
yeah.
should have brought him out for today.
I should have done.
That would have been great.
I will. She'll come back one day.
Okay, wonderful. Can't wait to
We'll
meet
glue your
her.
eyebrows down and we'll make you
Oh,
into a full drag
yes.
queen. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love that. But what about the beard? You can have be a
for
bearded drag queen.
Maybe for when I was a bearded drag queen before.
Okay.
Maybe for when Metal Gear Solid 4 comes to PS5.
Yes.
Meryl Gear can come back.
That would be
Great idea.
great.
That's
I
a
love
great
that
idea.
idea.
Write
That's
that down.
fantastic.
Anyway, sorry, it's not about me. What then would you say is the most intricate cosplay you've ever put together? What's been the most challenging cosplay for you?
I would say my Atreus from God of War Ragnarok because there was so many skills in that I've never done.
Ventilating.
Ventilating.
Even the ventilating alone.
Yeah. So
Learning.
we'll make a
Learning.
cosplay of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, a lot like the tan top he has is all real leather, and like a lot of it is real leather that I got secondhand, so I could recycle a lot of it. And I'd never worked with leather in that way, so I really had to teach myself how to use it because it's such a different material to just like normal fabric or cotton. And it really challenged me with like prop work because there's so many details in it. And yeah, I adore the God of War franchise, like specifically from 2018. So it's also just the expectation for me, like I really want to do this character justice. So I, did my best to make it look as accurate as I could.
Well, the thing that strikes me when I look at some of your work is how you, obviously a lot of work goes into the actual costume, but you sort of, you're really good at the mannerisms, the way you pose with, it might be Atreus with a bow and arrow. You must study beyond the costume. You must study how the characters move and behave. It's like a whole extra layer.
Like an acting layer
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well, right?
it is. And it's really funny because if you cosplay like one character for too long, you kind of accidentally take on those mannerisms in other things. So like obviously,
I
Just
bet
making
you
a cup
do.
of tea and reading the thumbprint. Yeah.
I cosplayed Ellie from The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
Who's very obviously like frowny and just very serious. and,
Frowny.
Well, I say
She
frowny.
is quite frowny. She's not the happiest, is she?
No, my Shayla. She's very expressive. And then I went into cosplaying Connor from Detroit Become Human, who is obviously an android. So you cannot move your face. And I remember like doing photos and the guy who was with me was like, stop moving your face. Stop it. Stop making the Ellie face. I was like, I'm sorry.
The Ellie
Connor
face.
wouldn't frown.
No.
The Ellie face.
But that, yeah, every character is so different. And that's just another really fun part of it is kind of like getting used to it and getting into that character and how they pose. And specifically, like, again, talking about Atreus, like, obviously I cosplayed Atreus from 2018 with my wonderful friend Jono, who is 7'2", very tall man.
I wonder who he was dressing up as. Who he was
7'2".
cosplaying as.
Yeah, he's a big
7'2".
boy.
That
He's a
doesn't
big
sound
boy.
like a real height, does it?
No.
For a real human
Even when you see him,
person.
you're like, are you in stilts? Like,
yeah,
what?
that's
Is this
tall.
real?
That's tall.
But obviously, we originally cosplayed 2018 Atreus and Kratos, and their dynamic is very different to Ragnarok Atreus and Kratos, where obviously Atreus really takes the forefront. So even like in photos, getting used to that shift of dynamic of like, oh, actually, I need to stand in front of you and look a little bit more confident. But it's great fun, and it's just another element of like being a big fan of the game, being like, well, how would this character interact in this situation?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
I'm surprised you said Atreus because I've seen you doing like Vecna from Stranger Things.
that's
I've seen
cool,
you
yeah.
doing characters from Avatar where it's like you full on transform your whole face into like a non-human being. Like that stuff must take so long.
You
It
recently
does.
did Frankenstein's monster, which that does not look like an easy one to do either.
No.
Lots of layers.
I would say Frankenstein's creature's the most difficult that I've ever done in terms of like makeup and special effects. Because that takes me about 3 or 4 hours to get into the makeup.
Wow.
And you know, you watch the film is so incredible, and obviously if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, you see just how many people work on this makeup and these prosthetics. Whereas for me, obviously I'm very much working with, I've got a cast of my face that I then modeled kind of the creature's face over, and I'm just doing it in latex.
Wow. A cast of your face.
Yeah.
Blimey. There's a lot of steps, isn't there?
Yeah.
Ventilating wigs.
Yeah.
Casting
Casts of
your face. Just writing this all down for when I'm going to start doing my own cosplays. I don't think I have. I don't know how do you have the time?
I don't know.
That's why
Alongside
you're
a full-time
That's why you're a
job.
professional, right?
I have a full-time job as well,
yeah,
though.
you do.
so-
Yeah. That's a lot.
But yeah, the big makeup ones are a lot of work, but they're really great because I can just lock in for like 3 or 4 hours on a night, do it, take the photos, I'm done. Whereas obviously things like Atreus, you have to think like, I'm taking that to a convention that has to be able to move, it has to be able to survive shoots. Whereas like the makeups I can kind of like make do. Like I say recently, a few years ago I did Leshy from Inscription, the indie game.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. And that was, I literally went to my local park and like found a load of leaves to like stick into a beard and stuff.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So it's great because I can just kind of use what I have, whereas like the bigger costumes one, you have to think about like longevity.
Yeah.
And so I've got some questions here from the community. We'll get to those in a sec. But I wanted to ask you as well, what advice would you give to someone then who's looking to get into cosplay but doesn't quite know where to start or how to break into it?
Don't get overwhelmed. You can start anywhere. You know, like I said, I've cosplayed Atreus, but I've also cosplayed Ellie, who was entirely from charity shops. I literally went to charity shops and spent at most £15 on like a bunch of clothes. Wow. It's so accessible, and there are so many incredible creators online and resources like tutorials. And if you like see a cosplayer or a creator you really like it's so easy just to reach out to them now and be like, hey, how did you do this? And more often than not, they will happily talk you through it. You know, we're all in this together. We're all just adults playing dress up. It's not that serious. So we're all happy to like share this passion and what we know, especially those of us that have been doing it like quite a while. And there are so many things to cosplay think. I think one of my I get asked this question a lot. I think one of my biggest pieces of advice is choose something you really like, because then the rest will come naturally. If you're really passionate about a character and really passionate about the story, I guess, behind it, then you will want to work on it. Because I've heard people be like, oh, I'd love to do this just because it looks really cool. Or like, I'd love to do this character, but it looks a bit too simple. And I'm like, do it. Like the simpler costumes are sometimes the best ones. They're great.
Do you notice parts of like outfits and costumes coming into your everyday fashion choices? Has that ever happened? Like where you've gone, oh, I've cosplayed this character and I quite like this.
I
this
quite like Vecna's style, actually. You pop to the shops as Vecna.
like, I mean, like Frankenstein's creature, the layers, like looks cozy.
I did buy some really tall shoes for Frankenstein's creature, and now I just wear them a lot.
Yeah,
so,
see,
yeah.
This is what I mean. Yeah, that's really cool.
I guess, I mean, I've literally got Atreus's tattoo that's behind his ear because, like, obviously I cosplayed it, and then I was like, I like how that looks.
That's
so,
really cool.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
I have that, and then I guess like Ellie, like I'm a Converse girly anyway, but there are certain elements where like I'll buy something and then be like, I think I'll just keep that and buy another one to like dirty up and just keep that.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know? Yeah.
I like that.
So I was going to ask before we get and get onto the community questions, Ash, Alex, who would you cosplay as? If you were going to a convention, and you had to pick a character to cosplay as, who would it be?
You have to as well, Rob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know who mine would be.
Oh, okay. Right,
That's hard. Before
That
we
is
start
tough.
recording, I was thinking about this. At Gamescom last year, I saw a few guys walking around in full-on Helldiver armor.
that's amazing.
And I was like, that is so
That's
cool.
really
And they were doing
cool.
the salute, and I was like, I'd quite like to do that. That's fun. To walk
Yeah.
around in armor like that, it's really cool.
It's
I'd
very
like to be a
empowering
Helldiver.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably quite like to be a Helldiver.
Because you get to hide as well.
Oh yeah, you don't
hide
show your
under the
face.
helmet.
Nobody knows
Yeah.
I
it's
had
me.
one thing. It's a strange experience. When PS4 launched, I was dressed up as Octodad.
Wow.
Were you painted yellow?
I was in like a full-on like foam costume, and I went to the whole people queuing up to buy PS4, and I was like doing all my Octodad moves, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's Octodad! Can we have a photo?" Everyone loved me.
Yeah.
And then I went inside, and someone else had the Octodad shift for the remainder of the evening. So I
Yeah.
took the costume off. And then went back outside to all the people that had literally minutes ago been so pleased to see me, and it was just nothing.
No.
So like the experience, it's such a strange experience.
Very
I imagine
humbling.
You'd get that if you were going around as a Helldiver.
Yeah.
Everyone would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, let's take a photo with the Helldivers, yeah, for democracy."
Yeah.
And then you just become Alex again. Aren't
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
boring, Alex.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, I've done some very low level Halloween costumes in the past of Tomb Raider, obviously.
Oh,
Very
cool.
nice.
That'd be
Classic.
good. Yeah.
And a classic Harley Quinn from the animated series.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I don't know what I've always wanted to do. I've always seen people do like really low lift The Sims as well, where they just put a plum bob.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
and
That's
it's
great.
just,
And
that's
you could
just
practice
amazing.
your Simlish.
I could,
Yeah.
Dag,
Oh,
dag.
it's all coming together.
Go back. But I don't know in terms of like newer things. I don't know. I would love to really hone in on a proper Harley Quinn. I think she is one of my favorite characters of all time. So
And it's fun as well.
yeah, she's fun. I would like to embody her for a
Which
bit as well.
iteration
you
of
know?
Harley Quinn? Which route would you go down?
It's
do you
really
think?
tough because I think I don't know if you've seen what's it called, the Harley Quinn show? Was that what it was called? There was like a TV show of just Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and what they got up to as like a villains, like hanging out. There's some more villains.
Girls
like
doing girl
Clayface is in it.
things.
Clayface is in it. Rahul Kohli's actually a voice in it as well.
really?
He voices. Does he voice?
Love him.
Was it
Scarecrow?
an animated show?
Really funny, like adult version of Harley
Right.
Quinn. I would probably do something that she wore in that because I think she has quite varied outfits in that from what I remember. But she's fun in that, and I would just like to embody her as a person as well, like as not as like a criminal, but like as
Yeah.
she's fun.
I can
She
see
is
it.
fun.
I can see it.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the one I would pick.
It's characters like that just people love. That like there are certain costumes you wear that just invite interactions.
Yeah.
Obviously, I cosplayed the Lamb from Cult of the Lamb.
Yes,
And
it's
it's-
amazing. That's
It's
so good.
so great walking around conventions because people just walk past you and just go, "Praise the Lamb, praise the Lamb." And it's the same with Expedition 33, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People will just be like, for those that come after, and you won't catch what they're saying until they're like 6 foot
Oh,
away, and
yeah.
you're like, "Oh, yeah, praise the Lamb."
That's really
Great.
nice.
I love that.
You must have
Rob.
got through a few baguettes when you
Yeah.
were doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be
And
done.
berets.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to cosplay as Squall from Final Fantasy
Oh,
VIII.
yeah.
But I think now I'd quite like to explore what Squall might look like as like a grizzled 40-year-old man,
Okay.
rather than a teenager. Obviously, I'm not sure I could pull that off anymore. So I'd maybe put a little bit of grey in the wig. He'd have to have a beard. Put the scarf. Really, I just want to wear the cool leather jacket and,
Right,
You can do
okay.
that.
Have a
and,
gun blade.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a gun blade.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'd quite like to do.
You've got the perfect head for a wig.
I do.
So
Ash is like itching to
Yeah.
put a
I want
wig
to
on
do
you.
something to your
let's
head.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what's in my bag, guys?
Oh, no.
Old school is what I would do. And I got the personality down already, just like silent and miserable. So I walk around the convention, not talking to anyone, and it'd be perfect. Perfect.
Perfect.
Great.
I can see that.
I can
good
see
choice.
it.
Yeah. I like it. I
I've got some questions for you, Abby, from our community. There's a few to get through, and you may have already touched on some of this stuff before. So I apologise if so. But Jim K, he's got 3 questions.
Oh,
Greedy.
It is greedy, isn't it? The first one, how long has it taken for you to create your most elaborate costume?
in hours, days,
Yeah,
weeks,
and
months.
considering you said it took you 30 hours to
ventilate
a wig.
Yeah. Oh man, Atreus just keeps popping up. I think Atreus, because he's one that I keep going back to. I keep remaking parts. You know, I recently like remade the belt where I hand etched like all the leather. He's got like knotted shaping on the belt, and I went in and did that. So like I keep remaking bits. So definitely he's got so much time in him.
Right.
But I'm not the best person to ask that because I'm very much a cruncher. I like to make costumes in a short amount of time and just bish, bash, bosh, have it done. But yeah, definitely Atreus. And that, I made the first version of him in about a month and a half because I very much just had like a deadline for myself. I made him in about a month and a half, and that was a full-time job, and literally in any free moment I had, I was working on him. Like literally we were driving up to like go shoot in the Peak District, and I was like still sewing in the car.
Wow.
So yeah, he's easily got at least, 200, 300 hours in it at this point, I would say.
And
maybe.
you play video games and have a full-time job.
I know. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Jim K's second question is, what do you do with your older costumes? Do you redesign them into new ones, or is there a massive wardrobe full of, Jim has said, forsaken costumes?
Not the Forsaken
Which is a very
costumes.
dramatic way to put
I
old
have-
costumes
yeah.
that you don't wear anymore.
Yeah,
I like
they're
it.
doomed. I do have a big old pile of boxes just full of old costumes. I try and rewear. I think if there's any cosplayers watching this, you'll know that you kind of go through a phase as a cosplayer thinking like, I need to make something new for every convention. I need to wear something entirely new each time. And you get to a point where like, I don't want to do that. Can't be bothered. So I try and rewear as much as I can now. But yeah, all of the old ones are just in boxes, and I try and reuse bits and pieces where I can and like recycle and take apart. And, a lot of the materials I use, I can kind of use again, so I can take it apart. And, I use like a thermoplastic that I can heat up and use again for like weapons and stuff. So I do recycle parts of them.
I guess in years to come, you can look back through this box of our costumes like a photo album
Yeah,
and
that's
relive all of
nice.
the
That's
memories.
nice.
Yeah,
You must
and-
have some cool weapons lying around.
I do. I've got like, it's all behind in my home office behind my door. All my weapons are stacked up. And by weapons, I mean like I've got an axe, a sword, a bass guitar made out of foam.
That's
This
I've
seems
just
cool.
like the perfect opportunity for you to dip into your bag of treats that you've.
Oh, my
Oh,
bag
yes.
of treats.
We should have a look at.
We
some
should
of the
have a
stuff.
look
Yeah.
at some of those.
Should we
Yes.
answer Jay's final question?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Jim's final question is:
Jim, sorry.
how much do you look into a cosplay before coming up with a costume? Do you have the time to go deep into the lore behind each and every one of them?
Yes, I'm very much a person that I can't just do something for the sake of it. Like I like to know the nitty gritty, and like specifically with characters where like the costuming has intention. Which is why it's great being a gaming cosplayer now, because so many games have photo mode, so I can go in
Yeah.
and spend like an hour.
I hadn't
like,
thought of that.
Yeah.
Very,
Oh,
very useful.
thank you, game companies,
Yeah.
for photo mode. And so many companies now are absolutely amazing at doing cosplay docs where they
Oh,
release.
really?
Yeah. So like
That's
Horizon
really
Zero
cool.
Dawn, God of War, even like Naughty Dog did it for The Last of Us Part 2. Like they have cosplay documents where it breaks down every single layer of
That's
the
amazing.
costume.
That's really
Wow.
fun.
And Aloy's was great when I cosplayed Aloy, because she obviously has so many parts that she's just like found in the world, and the cosplay document explains like, this is a wire from this machine, so
Oh,
that's the texture. It's so
cool.
helpful.
That's really
So it's
fun.
not just like take a bit of fabric from
Well,
here,
just,
Yeah.
use an old kettle cord or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just blown my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Not just that they do that, and that's amazing that they actually are thinking about people cosplaying as their characters,
Yeah.
but also that they know their characters so intricately that they know where the machine that Aloy got a wire
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
goes in a
that's
specific part of the
amazing.
costume. It's so cool.
It's so great because like even if you're not a cosplayer, I implore you to like look through the cosplay documents, because the God of War one especially is great, because you get so much backstory into like why they designed the characters as they did. So like with Atreus specifically, like his colors really represent kind of Brock and Sindri. You've got that blue and you've got that yellow. Obviously he wears he's got like one of Kratos's old like Spartan sashes that his dad would have just like given him, and like in the cosplay doc it really explains how there's so much hand stitching visible on the costume, because Atreus obviously is growing so quickly that he has to just keep stitching it up and like making it bigger. So it's just a really nice like extra way to kind of like delve into the character and find out more about their backstory.
great.
I love
It's
that.
so fun.
That's so nice.
That is
great.
That is amazing. it's bag of treats time.
Is there a wig in there for Rob?
There's not. I wish there was a wig.
That's a shame.
That is a shame. Have to get you back.
I'll put you in a wig.
Oh, I can already see an axe, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring a weapon, but I was like, I feel like I should. But like, this is like a great example of just something that I made in like a few days with just a bunch of foam and stuff. You can kind of feel how light it is.
Oh, wow.
So that was my Cult of the Lamb axe.
Very cool.
Love it.
This is the bit that people who were just listening to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So let's visually describe
Yeah,
it.
visually describe it.
It is an axe with a red
I'll
eye
spin
in the
it.
center. It has gold and silver detailing.
It's really cool.
It's got
but-
like leather straps on the handle as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice and light.
Isn't it?
You could actually go a day at a convention with this.
Yeah.
And
You could
not get too...
actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that has been thrown around many
Ooh.
fields
Did you not-
and woods
did you
and
not enjoy
stuff.
that
I know, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Right, where's Dave?
Oh, this is cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
so
at
this is
that.
Atreus's quiver. That's
so lightweight. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to be that light.
So it's all EVA foam. It's basically the same
cool.
stuff that
so
they use in
cool.
yoga mats.
Oh,
nice.
So
That's amazing.
yeah, sorry, Rob.
That's so cool. That's actually amazing. That's just blown my
Yeah,
mind.
I do, and this is really fun. Like again, like looking at it up
I like
close. you
looking
can
down
see.
the top of it. It's very much like a video game where it just
Right.
ends.
So
That is cool as
the
well.
arrows aren't obviously proper long arrows. They're just this top of the
Yeah.
the
So
top
cool.
of them that are then on like a foam disc. I can slip in and out, so I can easily like store it in a suitcase.
That's really cool.
And is this
Yeah.
people, friends of yours, who've signed...
So the signatures on the back are most of the main cast
Oh,
and
wow.
a lot of the creative team because
Your
I've
friends.
had I've had the pleasure of meeting pretty much everyone at this point, mainly involved with God of War.
That's so cool.
So you've got like Cory Barlog's signature on there and everything, and yeah, there's
So cool.
some great pictures of me dressed as Atreus, like asking them to sign it, just like bent over, just like, can you sign my quiver, please?
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, the level of detail is just mind blowing.
It
it's
is.
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's a few years old. That's like the original one I made for Ragnarok Atreus. Whereas there's a couple of bits that I've remade, which are in here. God, sorry, just pulling stuff out my bag. So I've got the mask that he. I realise I'm not showing the camera. I've got the mask. That obviously you get in Ragnarok, and this piece was like so fun to work on.
That's so
And
cool.
it's like the texture. I love doing wood texture. It's so fun to try and like get it realistic.
So what's it actually made out of then?
So that's one of those like cheap cardboard masks you get in like a craft shop.
Right.
That's then covered in this incredible stuff called foam clay, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's clay that then cures into foam. So it's super lightweight. You can really easily like mold it and work with
Amazing.
it. And then each of like the sigils on it are also like hand carved with a knife and like a wood burner for that texture.
I realised I didn't
very,
show
very
the
cool.
camera at all, the front of it.
I know, I've realised I forgot to show. Ooh.
Doing like a shopping channel type.
Yeah. And then this is one of like the pieces that I recently remade, which is Atreus's knife. So the original one I made, I still love, but it wasn't quite as detailed as I wanted. So this piece has so many skills in it, which you wouldn't think to look at. But so the leather little straps here are all like hand stamped, tiniest little straps. The end again is the same thing, foam clay to look like a deer antler, and it's all hand. So the base of this is foam, again, same foam that I've used with everything, but then covered in that thermoplastic that I mentioned, which you heat up and then it hardens, so it's like completely hard. And what? Yeah.
This is blowing my mind.
And yeah, obviously 3D printing is such a huge part of the creative space and like cosplay now, but
Yeah.
I don't find it as accessible. Obviously, it's very expensive to upkeep and buy.
Yeah.
So I try and hand make as much as possible.
Wonderfully modelled there.
Thank you very much.
Good
I have to
job.
hire you to do this
Look
full
at me
time.
spinning it. I'm like in the menu screen.
You are the menu screen.
I am the inventory
Yeah.
spinner.
And then obviously, I'll pass that to you guys as well if you want.
It's amazing.
I feel like this is like touching grass time. We're all just,
This is
having-
nice. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, show and tell. Then obviously I just had to bring in Atreus's mistletoe
Oh,
arrow necklace as
wow.
well. So this was made out of like not air dry, like cookable clay.
Oh, wow.
So it just cures in the oven. And a really cute fact is the beads were handmade by my mum.
Oh, I love that.
So I thought I'd throw them in because obviously Atreus as a character has like a really nice connection to his mum. So it was nice to throw in a nice little personal detail like
This is
that.
so cute.
That's cool.
Look at it.
Yeah. the original one that I made now lives with Sunny, who plays Atreus, and then the other one's with Corey as well. Because I made a bunch for like the main
That's so nice.
crew, which is
really cool.
It's amazing to see the sort of the amount of effort and detail that goes into, some of the smaller parts of the costumes.
Yes.
But still so much detail in them.
Everywhere is
Amazing.
still carefully looked after, even the
Yes.
smallest bits.
Even the smallest bits.
I
amazing.
might keep this. Quite like it.
Yeah. It's a powerful
your
look for
knife
you.
now.
It's a good look.
I might move on to some more questions from the community, if that's okay. Nathan
everything.
Ryder asks, "Hello, everyone at Access."
Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
I'm writing with questions for the upcoming podcast episode with Opal Ink Cosplay. Very formal. I'm sending these on behalf of my 12-year-old daughter, CJ, who is just getting into cosplay. And she asks, what are the must-have tools or equipment you need to get started with cosplay?
Must-have tools.
If any, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like it's quite an accessible start.
Yeah,
Really.
a sewing machine is a great way to, because I feel like a lot, including me, a lot of people start out and you kind of like try and hand sew things. Having a sewing machine, you can get really cheap ones and they'll still do the job. Having a nice little sewing machine that you can just kind of like familiarize yourself with if you want to make things is great. If you don't want to make things, you don't really need one. But just... I would say there's tools you need to start. Literally whatever you have lying around at home, you can make stuff, But my I guess holy grail tools are if you start doing things like foam work, and thermoplastic is a good heat gun, because I remember to make the knife where it's covered in that thermoplastic, you have to heat it up. And I remember I used to use a hairdryer. So I'd be sat there trying to heat it up for like 20 minutes. And then when you finally get a actual heat gun and it's like 10 seconds and it's ready to go.
Wow. Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. But no, I would say there aren't necessarily like holy grail tools you need or things to get started. Just figure out how you want to start. If you want to focus on just doing like fun costumes, if you want to focus on makeup, and then just kind of like reach out and talk to other cosplayers that do similar stuff.
That's really cool.
I guess there's all sorts of little tricks and tips and little things you
Yeah.
can share with each other to sort of, like you say, save time and effort with little things like that. Yeah, that's...
You could start
cool.
small with the weapons or the
Yeah.
accessories as well, couldn't you? Like, I guess you could start by making a sword that you really like.
Yeah, cardboard
Rather
is a
than
great
that.
way to start as well.
Yeah.
I still use cardboard for stuff. It's fantastic because I love holding cardboard and using it to like even just patterning stuff. It's great.
And Nathan also asks on behalf of CJ, and I think you may have touched on this a little bit already, how do you find exact colours of wigs for cosplays? Do you have to alter them much?
I bet wigs must be hard.
Yeah, I mean, luckily there are quite a few fantastic cosplay specific wig stores now.
Okay.
There's a really great cosplay friendly store called Coscraft, which have like every color of wig available under the sun, and they're really affordable, really great. And also quite a few specific cosplay wig stores. You can buy color wheels, so they'll literally have a wheel with like locks of hair of every single wig, so you can check. I'm very lucky that I've yet to have to dye a wig because that scares me. But I've used an airbrush as well to like add a bit more depth to wigs before. But luckily there are so many resources out there now, and also things like Amazon. You can get a bunch of there's loads of really affordable options and just different colours.
Have you ever walked past someone in the street and gone, that's the perfect colour for that bit of cosplay? I could just get a pair of scissors and
Yeah, I have. It's
Start stealing locks of hair off of passers-by.
just for
It's like
inspiration.
Dulux, but for wigs.
Yeah.
The paint mixers.
It's surprisingly a lot harder to get natural colours over like the really wacky colours, because like they're so specific that you're like, oh, it's not quite the right shade of strawberry blonde with highlights I want. It's much harder to get, oh, I just need a pink wig, just a hot pink wig, you know. Yeah.
Sidewalk Walking, interesting username, asks, how long do you stay with one cosplay? Do you have multiple going on at a time to work on, or is it one cosplay project per convention or year?
Most conventions obviously are like 2 to 3 days, and I like to wear a different cosplay every day.
Okay.
But like I said, I recycle a lot of costumes now, so I'll re-wear the same costume for a good few conventions. So like I'll normally now get at least 2 or 3 conventions out of one costume, and then also I try and do like an out of con shoot, so I can go and do a photo shoot and get photos that aren't just on a con floor.
Yeah.
So you can easily get a good few wears out of a costume, which then ties into like making it well enough to last those 3
Yeah.
conventions.
I would
Very
also
true.
love to know how you pack suitcases.
Oh, I
Like-
hate it.
I feel like you could give us a really good tutorial on how to pack loads of hard things to pack in a suitcase. I'm really bad at packing suitcases.
Me too.
I just need help. Like, I feel like I overpack for every holiday I ever go on.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
fine.
but-
so do you feel like you couldn't offer advice on how to pack a suitcase?
Hope for the best. A hard suitcase is a lifesaver, like one of those hard shell ones, because you can abuse it a lot more than a
Yeah.
soft one. So I can like shove as much in as possible. I like make bags now. I like sew custom bags to carry weapons and stuff. So like my Atreus bow has its own like bow shaped bag, just because it's so difficult to try and fit it into any other
Must
bag.
have some strange conversations with staff at airports.
Oh, yeah. I have some
Yeah.
horror stories about
Oh,
airports that I don't
no.
know if I could talk about. So, but I've only ever had one issue. I've managed to get through normally airports. So when my friend John and I, who did Kratos, went to LA, we wrote up full documents, because obviously he had his Kratos axe that is carved out of wood, like the actual handles
Wow.
fully carved out of wood. So it's really heavy. He had it in a guitar case, and I put my bow in there as well. And we literally printed out like 10-page documents in there, because we knew obviously they'd see it and be like, what is this? And open it up to like explain, these are props, they are fake, but please don't think they're real.
Amazing.
Wow.
And we have a question from Chatty Annie, who asks, what's the most memorable experience you've had while in cosplay?
Ooh.
I've had a few really nice interaction with kids who thought I was a real elf
Oh.
or like a real princess, which is
That's
really nice.
nice.
I remember I wore, I made an Inquisitor from Dragon Age Inquisition years ago.
Cool.
And she was an elf, and she was very like pretty. And we were shooting at like Warwick Castle, so it was a castle in like the middle of half term. And I had this kid who was just staring at me, this little boy, and he eventually came up and was like, "Are you a real elf?" I was like, "Do you think I'm a real elf?" He was like, "I think so." So I was like, "Do you wanna see?" And so I literally leant down. Obviously, my ears that I stick on with I stick them on so strong they're not going anywhere. So he like tried to pull the ear. I was like, "Ow!" And he was like, oh, "You are real."
Oh, that's amazing.
That's
cool.
one that sticks with me. But I think one of the biggest impactful moments was when I wore Atreus, and I met the wonderful Raph, who was one of like the lead artists at Santa Monica Studio. And obviously for me, it's like, I'm a huge fan of you guys. Like to be meeting you is incredible. And when I first, I met them out of cosplay first, and I met them in the costume. And Raph just quietly for about 3 or 4 minutes was just walking around and just touching things and looking at it. And he was like, "You have no idea how much it means to see this in real life." And just like, it really impacted me, like, oh, like I'm impacting them as well. Like, this isn't just me being a big fan of this thing. Like, I've brought their creation to life, and I never viewed it in that way. So that meeting like actual devs and creatives behind these things that encompass my world and I love so much was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this would also be impactful to you. I
That's
loved
amazing.
it. Yeah, that was really emotional actually, that whole experience.
I really hope that kid who thought you were a real elf is not listening to or watching this podcast. Because his whole world's about to come tumbling
What do you
down.
mean she wasn't real?
You're going to tell me about Santa next?
We have a question from General Kenobi who says, hello there. I'm curious. He doesn't actually say
No.
that. He says, I'm curious, what's the biggest unexpected hurdle when changing from doing cosplay as a hobby to doing cosplay as a job? Were there any things that popped up that you weren't prepared for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much in that middle ground right now where cosplay isn't my job, but I'm at a point where I'm starting to get some paid stuff. And I think the biggest hurdle is getting those opportunities. It's very much, it's the same as any creative thing now, right? You're not just a cosplayer. You're not just a tattoo artist. You're not just a painter. You also have to be a social media manager. You also have to be a video editor. Like, consistently making content and keeping people engaged is so difficult, and it's so easy to like burn yourself out, that finding that middle ground of making things that you enjoy whilst not relying entirely on like numbers, because social media is very difficult, is really hard. So I think it's finding that niche that you really enjoy, because as soon as you enjoy making something, other people will enjoy it. Which is why I kind of got to a point with cosplay where I absolutely love it, but I found I was losing a little bit of the passion, which is then I was like, right, I'm going to dip into doing more like just gaming content. So I've been doing more sit down, almost like this, sit down talking to the camera, so I can get that passion out and then be like, feel re-energized to go back and do cosplay as its own thing. And yeah, it's definitely trying to keep up with everything, because the world moves so fast nowadays. It's trying to cosplay for yourself and not for other people.
Yeah, turning a hobby into a profession is quite a tough jump, I think. I think it's just been like when I used to stream, it used to be quite a bit of like, do I do this because I want to be doing this, or am I doing this because I feel like I have to carry on, and like I'm doing a lot of extra work, and it's turning this thing that I used to love into something that feels more like a chore. I feel like it's very much that balance of trying to figure out like, I want to keep doing this for myself, but I also like want to get paid to do it for people who like really want my craft, and then trying to balance that must just be really tough.
Yeah, and I think that's where the community side comes in really strongly. Like, I'm very lucky to be surrounded by so many incredibly talented creatives, you know, videographers and photographers and other cosplayers, and we get together and we collab so much, and that's what really brought my passion back, because just being with like-minded people that are also just really excited to create for the fun of it is so vital. You need to remember, like, you need to also enjoy it, because like I said, as soon as you enjoy it, other people will tell and will also enjoy it.
And final question from the community is from Dalinak, who asks a few things, many of which you've definitely already answered. But the final thing is, which of your cosplays do you think your fans love the most?
Ooh.
I would say the Cult of the Lamb one is probably the one that's kind of gone the most viral, which I wasn't expecting. That one went really big, and the fandom is very intense and really engaging, and that's really cool. Again, which I just wasn't expecting, but that's really nice now, because now I'm taking the time to like upgrade that costume and like change parts about it. So like, again, I can keep the joy in it of like, oh, I can make things differently. So I would say definitely the Lamb. Obviously, people really like Atreus, because you don't really see people cosplay him, because he's difficult to cosplay, because people just don't really cosplay him that much. Yeah, there's so many that have their own reasons. Again, Jack is really special because he's so nostalgic, and people just get so excited to see it on like a con floor, that it's just a really special thing to me, and like I really want to remake that costume.
That's
like,
my favourite of yours, I think.
Really?
The Jack one. Really
I'd
good.
love
amazing.
to do Precursor Legacy Jack, but the idea of that hair, like the gravity defying hair.
Yeah, you do Dark Jack, right? The Renegade.
I did.
Jack 2 Renegade Jack.
Yeah, I did his Dark Jack version that's in the game for all of like 3 minutes at the very start of the game in the prison. And then, yeah, I've done his like base outfit as well, like the blue one with the silver ring. And I just love that costume. It's great. I made a Daxter back in the day as well. It's
So
just
cool.
really fun. And that's really special because people are so nostalgic about it. Those are definitely, I'd say, like my top 3 that people
Amazing.
really enjoy.
Well, thank you so much, Abby, for answering all of our questions, and indeed all of the community's questions. And thank you for sending your questions in. If you want to get in touch with us for any reason, you can reach us on our inbox, which is psaccessinbox@gmail.com. Please do continue to send in your questions about anything at all. We are going to move on very quickly before we go to the plus side.
Ooh.
The Magic Gaming Circle.
We still
No,
don't have
it's
a
cool.
jingle for it yet, but we will have one soon.
We said in the
You should
last
do it in
episode.
We did say
Simlish.
that in the last. Should do it in Simlish.
No, not
Yeah, I'll
Simlish.
learn it in Simlish.
So
a great idea.
we have been playing, because Resident Evil Requiem is now everywhere.
Yeah.
We've been playing, on the plus side, Resident Evil 2, which is in the Classics catalogue for
Yes.
PlayStation Plus Premium members. We were talking before we started recording, Abby, about whether or not you play Resident Evil 2, and we had worked out that you've played some kind of Resident Evil game, but got too scared and had to stop.
It's got a man
Yes.
in a basement.
Yeah.
Man in a basement, zombies.
Yeah. I love horror games. cannot play them.
Yeah.
Love The Last of Us is as far as I can go. I love Silent Hill lore. I love Resident Evil lore, but I am so scared of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
I relate to that.
I understand.
I get it.
But I love
get
watching
it.
people play it. So
That's fair. Yeah, I really enjoyed the lore of things more than I enjoyed
Yeah.
playing the scary things.
Well, it
But
was
that's-
Resident Evil 2 so scary. And
Resident Evil 2 was hard as well.
I've got further now.
Well done.
Than I did last time.
Well done.
But I got to the bit that I remembered as a kid, and it's a nasty trick the game plays on you, because you go past this corridor of boarded up
The
windows,
window bit.
and you go past it maybe, depending on what you're doing in the game, you maybe go past this corridor 2 or 3 times and nothing happens. The way the game frames it is you can feel like something could
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
but you go past it enough that you sort of come down off that high
Yes.
to relax
You're
a
like,
little
oh, maybe
bit.
I misremembered.
There's-
that
I
was
can
the
let my
thing that
guard
was
down
gonna
now.
Yes,
happen.
exactly. There's a specific thing, I can't remember exactly what it does, is you trigger some kind of event, and then the next time you come back through that corridor, just these zombie arms just
Yes.
come out of the boarded
Yeah.
up windows, and I absolutely lost it. Like, even now, just the jump scare.
Yeah.
It's just horrible.
That is, when that happened to me, that is the most I've jumped at a game.
Yeah.
The biggest
Yeah.
jump I've had in
Really?
a
That's the
long
thing,
time.
Because I went
So
from
effective.
playing remake to now playing the original, I was like, oh, I know what something's going to happen. Something's going to happen as I go down this corridor, and I've gone down that corridor. And I'm like,
Just do it. Just do the thing. Get it over
I don't
and
want to
done
go down
with.
that corridor. I'm not going to go down that corridor. And I'm like, oh, I'm back at that corridor again. Is there something I forgot to do in that room behind me? I might just turn around and not go down this corridor
Yeah.
again, just to avoid it as much as possible.
what if we just didn't go down the corridor?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
Who
There's
needs?
so
if
many
we,
things
if
that
we don't
characters-
continue playing the game, bad stuff will stop
Well,
happening.
unfortunately, it's a really good game, so you sort of have to
It
continue
is,
playing
yeah,
it.
it is really good.
I love how it's structured. I love the pace of it.
Yeah.
I love how, and it's got all the old game foibles where there's no quick way to do things sometimes. If you're like, oh, I need to go back to that specific room, and you do just have to retrace your steps. But even retracing your steps, like this police station, is so intricately and wonderfully put together and designed
Yeah.
that it's just every time you're going from one room to another, even if you've done the same switch between those 2 rooms and corridors loads of times before, there's still such a tension in the air every
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Every time you see a zombie dead on the floor, you're never
don't believe
quite
it.
sure
No.
whether it is actually dead or not.
They flinch a bit, right, when
Yeah.
they're dead as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that the ones that flinch sit back up again, but not all of the ones that flinch sit
Well,
back up again.
No. What are the rules?
The telltale thing is if a pool of blood comes out of them, then they're dead.
Right,
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 yeah.
right, right. Dead.
There's,
Yeah.
there's one in one room that you go in, and he's already lying on the floor. There's no blood, so you think, okay, he's definitely gonna get up and attack me. I ran past him once, and all he did was like turn his head,
That's horrible.
and I was like,
Can't
even
do
that, I was
that.
like, whoa, we're not going back that way. Okay.
It's like even doing the puzzles in it, I'm just really on edge. It's like they're quite quiet, like moments where you're like, I can just figure this out, and I'm like, it's not going to stay quiet. I need to quickly do this. I'm gonna, but then
Yeah.
once it's done, I'm like, nothing happened.
Quiet
Like, I could
quiet
just
room
stay
in Resident
here.
Evil is never a good
No,
sign.
it's not.
No.
Yeah, and I feel like I just don't, because I played remake. I just don't. I don't want to progress. I don't want to see Mr. X.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to see him.
And what's an interesting thing that I didn't realise, that the original Resident Evil 2 had spiders in it, because the spiders aren't in remake. The spiders in Resident Evil 2 are horrible. They're when you first come across them, you come down a ladder into the sewers and you can just see these legs in the foreground.
How big? Like,
But-
what's the scale of spider?
I mean, like, compared to, they're much bigger than Leon. Like,
Oh.
each leg is probably a
Got that
Leon.
far.
So it's like frostbite spider size.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Honestly,
Evil.
the way they crawl around they go on the ceiling and try to come up behind you. Honestly, they're horrible, horrible, awful,
Awful
Yeah.
time.
terrible spiders. I thought the spiders in Skyrim were probably the worst spiders in games, but
In VR, when you play
Oh.
Skyrim in VR and you go right up to a frostbite spider, it's horrible. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Oh, especially, I guess, if you've got like the giant ones that come from the sea.
Yeah.
Just look
Oh.
up.
Uh-huh. It's just the speed at which they move.
Yeah.
The noises.
Then the noise.
It's the noises. It's the
Too much.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Too much. Yeah, but that's it for the plus side. Resident Evil 2.
I need to work out which Resi I've
You
played.
do,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that'd be fun.
Man
We
in
need to
Basement.
figure it out.
Man in
How-
Basement.
It's not
Could be any.
7.
Don't Google that. That's not going to help, is
No.
it?
No, definitely
Man
not.
in basement. Google Resi.
did the man have
which
nice
one?
blonde hair? That could be a clue.
It was.
Is it
the-
our
Was
boy
it,
Leon?
was it Mousy Brown?
Mousy brown.
I feel
Strawberry
like it
blonde?
might have been Leon.
You'd know if it was Leon.
You would know.
True.
You would know.
You would know, and you wouldn't forget.
I just remember I literally got about 10 minutes into the demo, and
It was of a remake one, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So 2, 3, or 4.
it might have been 4.
Did they do a demo for 4? I don't remember a demo
There was
for
the
4.
chainsaw demo, yeah.
Where you like go
okay.
into like a really creepy cabin, you're like something's gonna happen, and you go down the
Sounds
stairs and like
Oh,
you
yeah.
open a cabinet,
I
you're like
remember
something's
that.
gonna happen.
Is that not 4?
That is 4, yeah.
Yeah,
That's four.
that's 4.
That we
Yeah,
figured it
yeah.
out.
Okay, we figured it out. Well done, team.
We remembered a
We
bit
did
of a
it.
game. Yeah.
So what's next on the plus side?
Well, when we're not playing Marathon this
Yeah.
month, which it is Marathon month, we're going to be playing Skate Story, which I have already put a few hours in
Ooh, okay.
to ahead of us knowing that we were going to be doing it on plus side, because I think it looks great and it is great. It's great fun. It'll be a nice little palate cleanser, you know,
I'm into it.
Resi.
It looks like
no
it's-
jump scares.
No
Oh,
jump
I hope
scares.
not.
No,
Hope not.
it's a bit.
Or so
it's a
you
bit
think.
wacky. It's a bit wacky. It's kind of fun. I'd love to see you cosplay the character from Skate Story.
I've not seen them.
He's just a mirror man.
Oh,
He's a man made of fragmented mirrors, basically.
that sounds like it'll be hell to me.
It would be. I think it would be
yeah.
tough. Yeah. it'd
Does
be
he
tough.
skate?
He does skate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
he
can
skates.
customize the skateboard. It's going to be great.
Oh.
It's going
He
to be fun.
skates and he stories.
And that's why they've called it Skate Story.
Well, there you go. If you are a PlayStation Plus member and you want to play along with us on the plus side, get Skate Story downloaded
Yep.
and let us know what you think about it. That email address, once again, psaccessinbox@gmail.com. That is all we have time for in today's episode. Abby, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's been a
you.
real
It's been
pleasure
so nice.
Thank
chatting
you.
with
I've
you.
really enjoyed it. Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you.
really fun. It's very odd to be this side of the screen. So thank you so much for having me.
And we look forward to seeing your next creation, whatever it may
Yes.
be.
I'm going to cosplay you, Rob.
Yes.
don't do
Oh,
that.
I would love that.
Turn-
You'd have to
Turtleneck Bond
really...
I've got the bold cat ready to go.
Oh, yes.
Dave
Love to
came
see
dressed
this.
as me to a Halloween party once.
Yeah, I remember that. I'll have to see if I can find a picture.
Yeah.
Now
it's
you need to go
glorious.
dressed as Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not really got any distinguishing features, though, has he? So,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
swear, I don't know. An overshirt.
Yeah.
And
Kind of what
and I'd be
Alex
Dave.
is wearing.
Safe. Just wear safe clothes.
Could be a Dave
Yeah.
outfit.
Anyway,
Yes, today I am cosplaying Dave.
that's enough.
You look great.
That's enough
Thank you.
for this episode of the PlayStation Access podcast. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you again soon.